70 years ago, Drake Interplanetary built the Cutlass in a gamble to win a military bid. But the military didn't bite. Drake Interplanetary wasn't deterred, however. The company retrofitted the Cutlass for civilian use.
When we first rolled out a flyable model of the Cutlass to the public, it kind of drifted from our own expectations and from our own intent. It lost some of the aggressive characteristics that we had sold it on when we first unveiled it. And that was one of the biggest things we wanted to recapture in the rework. We wanted to make it look and feel like the ship we had originally promised to people. But to really pull that off, we did have to make some changes and split off a few pieces of functionality. But then what that left us with was a lot more room to really build on the rating support potential of the Drake Cutlass, where now this can be that backbone of a small militia unit, of a small just defense group.
The first iteration of the Cutlass wasn't very ergonomical for the pilot or the co-pilot. We had many complaints from the customers saying it's hard to get in and out, and people stepping on other people's toes. So we went with a better design on this one. We have the pilot and co-pilot being able to enter and exit from either side of their seat stations, with neither the pilot nor co-pilot getting in the way of each other on enter or exit, for much faster mounting, dismounting. The living quarters have also been retrofitted to be a little bit more spacious. The armaments have been upgraded. We have more space for armored equipment, as well as bunk racks in the main living quarters, as well as access to the gun's main weapon system located in the living quarters instead of the rear.
It's going to be a very potent threat to come across for mid-sized ships and up, because it's going to carry a lot of missile firepower. We've added more guns to the ship. Just its general armor and durability can now really sell through, both in its appearance and its performance. We didn't skimp out on what it can do. We made sure you can haul your cargo, you can haul your friends, you can blow up a ship if it's trying to take you down. Some people decide to use our ship to take other people down, I guess.
The Travel Safety Advisory System estimates that 15,000 people die annually in outlaw raids, and the Cutlass Black accounts for 2/3 of all ships used by known piracy groups. People have often questioned Drake Interplanetary's role in these raids. Is the company intentionally marketing their inexpensive but deadly Cutlass Black to criminals? We decided to find out. Posing as an applicant for their sales department, one of our reporters traveled to the Magnus system and sat down with Drake Interplanetary's long-standing CEO, Jan Dredge. She didn't know she was being recorded.
Your resume is quite impressive. As you probably assumed, this last interview is really more of a formality.
Can I ask a question?
Ask away. Unless they're salary related, that goes through HR.
Of course. I am curious about the Cutlass Black. Have you considered including mandatory background checks for buyers, to avoid selling to criminals?
Listen, what happens after a Cutlass leaves the showroom isn't my problem. When there's a murder, do you blame the killer or the person who manufactured the gun?
After this audio was released, family members of piracy victims expressed their outrage by calling for a ban on the Drake Cutlass. Today, Drake Interplanetary responded with a press statement. We apologize for the comments made by Jan Dredge. After many years of devoted service, Ms. Dredge has decided to retire as CEO of Drake Interplanetary and spend more time with her family. While she will continue to remain on the board, Ms. Dredge will no longer be involved in daily business operations. Her son, John Dredge, will fulfill her duties as acting CEO until a replacement can be found. Drake Interplanetary is committed to the safety of all citizens and civilians. Our Cutlass Blue and Cutlass Red models are specifically designed for use by police and first responders. They continue to save countless lives across the universe. The Terra Gazette has confirmed that Jan Dredge's so-called retirement goes into effect today. However, Drake Interplanetary refuses to comment on whether they will continue to sell the Cutlass Black to known piracy groups.